everybody, welcome back. This is the red pen check for quiz 2. Look at number 1. Number 1 is 10 times 5 plus 6x plus 8x. Remember, these are just expressions and we're simplifying them. So first, 10 times 5 is 50 plus 60x plus 8x. We can combine these, so our most simplified expression is 50 plus 68x. Alright, moving on to number 2. This one's going to be a little funny. So for the students that are in my class, Mrs. Agpov's class, I told them to ignore this plus sign. So I'm going to do that one first. So ultimately it would be k plus 8 times 2x. So we'd have k plus 16k, sorry. And for my students, the answer would be 17k. Now, if your teacher told you that there's a 1 here, then your answer would be 17k plus 8. Okay? And much like the other ones, it's the distributed property. So your answers could have been negative 12 minus a negative 72r, or you could have had negative 12 plus 72r. Okay, and then for the last one for this, where the two answers that we could have had was 30x plus a negative 28, or you could have had negative 30x minus 28. Alright, moving on to the second section, which is solve for the equations. So first off, you want to find your like terms. Make that line down here. So we can combine 7x and 2x, and we get 9x plus 3 equals 30. Then we want to make 0, and whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. So this turns into 0. We bring down the 9x equals, 27. Now we want to make 1, so we divide by 9 on both sides, and we end up with x equals 3. You could also have 1x equals 3. Alright. And for here, we have those two are our like terms, so we do the same process, and ultimately we get x equals 6, or 1x equals 6. Alright. We got like terms on both sides, we got our x's here, and then we got our terms here. So we can combine them. And we end up with 10x minus 5 equals 15. We're going to add 5 to both sides. And we get 10x equals 20. Divide to make 1, we get x equals 2. Okay, this one a little bit more tricky since we have the distributed property, so we're going to do that first. So we got 4 plus 5x plus 10 equals 29. All right, I'm going to combine my 4 and my 10 first, so I got 14 plus 5x equals 29. Subtract 14 on both sides. Keep it balanced. These make 0. We end up with 5x equals 15. We divide by 5 on both sides, and we get x equal to 3. All right. moving on to our next section, which combines the other two sections pretty much together, where we have like terms, but they're on either side of the equation, so we have to do a lot of flip-flopping. So for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that line to keep things organized for myself. I want to move my x's first. Okay, to make 0. So we end up with 41 equals 2x plus 21. Now I'm going to move my 21 by subtracting it from both sides. And we end up with 2x equals 20. And then we make 1 by dividing, and we end up with 10 equals x. Right. Then this one I'm going to take a little bit more time with, since we have 2x minus 3x minus 17 equals negative 4 times x minus 1. So I'm going to do my distributive first, because I don't like seeing that. So I'm going to do 2x minus 3x minus 17 equals negative 4x minus plus 4. See, it's easy to do that. Negative times a negative is always positive. So I'm going to combine these two, my 2x minus 3x, and that's going to give me a negative 1x minus 17 equals that negative 4x plus 4. All right. Now I don't have any like terms on either side, so I have to make 0. So I'm going to mess with my x's first. So I'm going to get rid of those. So plus 4x on either side. Do that. And then I end up with a 3x minus 17 equals 4. And I'm going to add 17 to both sides. So then we end up with, I'm going to move my stuff over. So 3x equals 21, and we divide by 3, and x equals 7. All right. Do the last few. Oops. Okay. We got minus 6 plus 6x equals negative 2 times 1 minus 2x. So I can't combine anything, so I'm going to distribute. Boom. I'm going to rewrite it as negative 6 plus 6x equals a negative 2 plus 4x. Remember, negative times a negative is always a positive. Now I have the parentheses out of the way. Now I can make 0 and get all of my terms and like terms to one side. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides first. And that's going to give me a negative 4x. Oops. So it's so easy sometimes to make a mistake. That's why precision is so important. Okay, try that again. So a negative 4 plus the 6x equals 4x. Okay. Now all I have to do is mess with my x's. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. All right. We got negative 4 equals a negative 2x. And then I'm going to divide by a negative 2 on both sides. We end up with 2 equals x. Sorry for the pause, I was looking at my key. Go back. There we go. And this is our answer. All right, very last one. We have a bunch of distributing. So we've got to distribute and distribute. So we end up with 4x minus 6x minus 24 equals 4 minus 8x. I do that by just distributing. Okay, and I'm going to combine these two because they're on the same side and it's easier to do it that way. So I got negative 10x minus 24 equals 4 minus 28. And I like dealing with my x's first, so I'm going to add 8x to both sides. Okay. We start off on a negative 10 on the number line, we're adding 8 to it, so we're getting less negative, so we end up with a negative 2x minus 24 equals 4. I'm going to add 24 to both sides to make 0, and then we end up with negative 2x equals 28. And then we're going to divide by a negative 2, and a positive divided by a negative is always a negative, so x equals negative 14. Alright, this is it, my friends. If you have any questions, please make sure to ask your instructor. Well, that is it. Have a great night. Bye.